Good morning, everyone. This is the Group 1 of BSMT 2Y1-3. So, our chosen country is Brazil. Here are some of the topics that we are going to tackle later in this reporting. First is sports, 2 government, 3 food, 4 clothing, 5 tradition, 6 holidays, 7 religion, 8 art, 9 music, 10 architecture. But first, uh, here are some introduction about Brazil. Brazil is a country in South America that occupies half the continent's landmass. It is the fifth largest country in the world, exceeded in size only by Russia, Canada, China, and the United States. In fact, the country is so big that it has four time zones and 58.4% of the Amazon rainforest is within the borders of Brazil. The language spoken in this country is Portuguese. Okay, number one, sports. Brazilians are heavily involved in sports. Football or soccer is the most popular sport in Brazil. Other than football, sports like volleyball, mixed martial arts, basketball, tennis, and motorsports, especially Formula One, enjoy high levels of popularity. This guy right here in the picture is Neymar da Silva Santos Jr., known as Neymar Jr. Neymar is a Brazilian professional footballer who plays as a forward for Saudi Pro League club Al Hilal and the Brazil national team, who has scored the most goals in the history of Brazil. Neymar scored 79 goals in 125 appearances. Brazil is the most successful national team in the FIFA World Cup, being crowned winner five times during the 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994, and last 2002. Next, government. Brazil is a democracy with a presidential and federal system of government. Its current constitution provides strong protection for civil liberties. It also guarantees many rights, including employment, childcare, and healthcare. There is an independent judiciary, media, and central bank, and the country has seen a peaceful transition of power since it became a democracy in 1985 following decades of military dictatorship. However, Brazil's democracy has been challenged by increasingly polarized politics, a weak central state, and the erosion of trust in the ruling class. Successive governments have struggled to maintain law and order in all Brazil's vast territories. As I said before, it is the fifth largest country in the world. Particularly parts of the Amazon in the favelas, the vast slums are surrounding some Brazilian cities. In some cases, police and security service lack a consistent presence in those areas, ceding control to illegal groups and undermining faith in the strength of the democratic state. This guy right here is Luis Inacio Lula da Silva. Uh, he is the president of the Brazil. Uh, he is the 39th and current president of Brazil, a member of the Workers' Party. Uh, Also, he previously served as the 35th president of Brazil during 2003 to 2010. At the Palacio de Alvorada or the Malacanang Palace here in the Philippines is the official residence of the President of Brazil. It was founded by the President Juscelino Kubitschek on April 21st, 1960 to serve as the new national capital.
Now let's tackle the food section. This section contains the five most famous delicacies around Brazil. These five foods are feijoa, acarajé, moquega de peixe, pão de queijo, and last but not the least, the brigadeiro. The first food are feijoa, which has the nickname of Brazil's national dish. Feijoa rightfully takes its place as the national dish of Brazil, a hearty and soul-warming dish that holds a special place in the heart of Brazilians. A black bean stew infused with a vibrant ensemble of meat such as pork, beef, and sausage. Feijoa tantalizes the palate with its rich and complex flavors, traditionally served with rice, collard greens, farofa, a toasted cassava flour, and orange slices. Feijoa embodies the essence of Brazil's culinary heritage. The second one was the acarahe, which is one of the Brazil's food delights. The acarahe was originated from Bahia, the northeastern region of Brazil. Acarajé is a popular street food that pays homage to the country's African roots. This deep-fried ball of black-eyed pea dough is filled with batata, a spiced shrimp paste, caruru, a okra stew, and a diced tomato. As you savor the crispy exterior and succulent filling, you'll be transported to a vibrant street of Salvador, where Acaraje vendors have perfected this culinary masterpiece. The third food was the moqueca de peixe, which is one of the Brazil's coastal treasure foods. Hailing from the coastal states of Bahia, Espírito Santo and Rio de Janeiro, moqueca de peixe embodies the bountiful flavors of the sea. This velvety fish stew harmoniously combines with fresh fish, coconut milk, palm oil, peppers, onions, tomatoes, and a myriad of aromatic herbs and spices. The result is a luscious aromatic creation best enjoyed with pirao, a thick fish gravy, and a side of farofa. The fourth food was the pão de queijo, a cheesy little bite. Pão de queijo, often referred to as Brazilian cheese bread, is a beloved snack that originated in the state of Minas Gerais. This bite-sized delight, made from cassava flour and cheese, possesses a distinctive chewy texture and slightly salty flavor. Whether enjoyed as breakfast staple or as an accompaniment to a traditional Brazilian barbecue, pão de queijo never fails to delight with its cheesy goodness. And the fifth food, which is brigadeiro. No exploration of Brazilian cuisine would be complete without mentioning brigadeiro, a beloved traditional dessert that holds a special place in the hearts of Brazilians. These fudgy chocolate truffles made from condensed milk, cocoa powder, butter, and chocolate sprinkles encapsulate the essence of indulgence often found at birthday parties and festivities. Brigadeiros delight both young and old alike with their irresistible sweetness.
In Brazil, people wear a variety of clothing styles because it's a diverse melting pot of cultures. Overall, Brazilians like to wear comfortable and colorful clothes that look elegant. However, the type of clothing can vary by region. In southern plains in the southern ranching areas, people often wear gaucho-style clothing, which includes baggy pants called bombachas, cowboy hats, and cowboy boots. In the Amazon region, indigenous Amerindians in the Amazon region wear tunics and use face paints. They also love to decorate themselves with beads, body paint, and unique hairstyles. In Bahia region, northeastern Bahia, which is heavily influenced by African culture, people wear long skirts, headscarves, and shawls. They may also wear items adorned with bordado richelieu, a type of lace developed in 18th century France to imitate white Vientiane lace, which was introduced to Brazil by the Portuguese. So while there's no single traditional Brazilian clothing, the style can vary depending on where you are in the country and the cultural influence in that region.
In the next topic, I'm going to discuss the different tradition in Brazil. One of the most common tradition in Brazil is the importance placed on family and community. Brazilians are very social people and often gather with family and friends for meals or celebrations. Eating and sharing meals together is an important part of Brazilian culture and is seen as way to bring people together and strengthen bonds. Another common tradition in Brazil is the celebration of Carnival, which is a festive celebration that takes place throughout the country before the beginning of Lent. It is a time of colorful parades, music, and dance, and many people wear costumes and participate in street parties. Additionally, Brazilian cuisine is a major tradition and is known for its diversity and regional variations. Some of the most traditional dishes in Brazil cuisine include feijoada, a hearty stew made with black beans and various meats, and churros, a type of barbecue that is popular in Brazil. As you see in the right side of your screen, you will see the image of different kinds of tradition in Brazil. Uh, the most common or the most popular tradition in Brazil is copera. You will see it on the second image in my slide. Copera is a Brazilian martial arts that combines elements of dance, acrobatics, and music. It was developed by enslaved Africans in Brazil during the colonial period and served as a form of resistance against oppression. Copara is characterized by fluid movements, kicks, spins, and sweeps, as well as its use of music and singing. It, it is often practiced in a circle called a roda, where two practitioners engage in a dialogue through their movements. Copara has gained popularity worldwide and is now practiced as a form of exercise, cultural expression, and even a competitive sport. In the next slide is about the holidays in Brazil. Brazil is a country rich in culture and traditions, and the holidays are important part of the culture. There are many holidays that are celebrated in Brazil throughout the year, each with their own unique tradition and costumes. Here are some examples of holidays in their country. Carnival. This is one of the most famous and popular holidays in Brazil, celebrated in February or March before the start of Lent. It is a huge festival that involves street parties, parades, music, and dancing. Festa Junina, also known as the June Festival, this holiday is celebrated in honor of Saint John the Baptist and takes place throughout the month of June. It features tradition food, music, and dancing, including the popular Gorilla dance. Festa Junina is beloved cultural celebration in Brazil, bringing communities together to enjoy music, dance, delicious foods, and the rich tradition of the country rural heritage. It is for a time for people to embrace their roots, have fun, and celebrate the spirit of rural Brazil.
Now let's discuss the religion section. In this section, I will only discuss about the dominant religion in Brazil. So what is the dominant religion in Brazil? The dominant religion in Brazil was Catholic. Roman Catholicism, introduced during the colonial era, remains the largest religious affiliation in Brazil. Its adherents make up a significant portion of the Brazilian population. This ensuring the influence can be attributed to Catholic tradition being deeply integrated into Brazilian society, including holidays, rituals, and social practices. The Catholic Church continues to serve as a pillar of community engagement and a spiritual anchor for millions of Brazilians. The religious landscape of Brazil is a captivating tapestry of beliefs, influenced by centuries of cultural exchange and resilience of diverse communities. Roman Catholicism, indigenous spirituality, and Afro-Brazilian religions. Protestantism and new religious movements all contribute to a religious fabric that binds Brazilian society together. After discussing the religion section, now let's talk about the art of Brazil. The arts of Brazil only has two major factors of influence regarding in artistic progress, and these two will be the topic for this section. These are the influence of colonialism and African culture and the modernism and contemporary expressions. First, we talk about the influence of colonialism and African culture. With the arrival of European colonizers, a significant influence on Brazilian arts emerged from the Baroque movement, brought by the Portuguese. Churches and cathedrals became important centers for artistic production, blending European styles with indigenous elements. This fusion of cultures resulted in unique forms of religious art, seen particularly in intricate golden altarpieces and elaborate wooden sculptures found in many Brazilian churches. The second one was the modernism and contemporary expressions. The early 20th century marked a crucial turning point in Brazilian arts, with the emergence of the modernist movement in the country. Artists like Tarsila do Amaral, De Cavalcanti, and Heitor dos Prazeres sought to create a distinctly Brazilian aesthetic that broke away the European traditions. Their work depicted Brazilian landscapes, indigenous subjects, and social issues, reflecting a desire for non-language art forms such as literature and music. The Tropicalia movement in the late 1960s, led by musician Caetano Veloso and Gilberto Gil, blended the traditional Brazilian genres like bossa, nova, samba with international influences, resulting in revolutionary fusion of sounds and lyrics that challenged mainstream political and cultural conventions.
Brazilian music is a rich blend of different styles influenced by European, American, African, Amerindian traditions. It has given rise to unique genres like forró, samba, bossa, nova, and many more. Samba is the most famous, especially during Carnival, but bossa nova gained international attention in the 1950s. With songs like Desafinado, some influential musicians like Pixie Antonio Carlos Jobim, and Dorival Caymmi have made significant contribution to Brazilian music. Brazilian music is also includes its version foreign styles like rock, pop, hip hop, and classical music. It's a diverse and vibrant musical culture.
Last but not the least, architecture. The architecture of Brazil is influenced by Europe, especially Portugal. It has a history that goes back 500 years to the time when Pedro Cabral discovered Brazil in 1500s. Portuguese colonial architecture was the first wave of architecture to go to Brazil. In the 18th century, during the time of the empire, Brazil followed European trends and adopted neoclassical Baroque and Gothic revival architecture. Then, in the 20th century, especially in Brasilia, Brazil experimented with modernist architecture. The modernist approach was named as a minimalist without the need for excessive frills or decoration. Instead, the architecture became more simplistic with clean lines and functional form. This style became more popular around the end of World War II, when function was more important than form. Here are some example. Uh, the Church of Sao Francisco de Assis in Ouro Preto, one of the best known architectural icons of Baroque architecture in Brazil. Church of Saint Francis of Assisi is a Rococo Catholic church in Europe Preto, Brazil. Its erection began in 1766 after a design by the Brazilian architect and sculptor Antonio Francisco Lis- Lisboa, otherwise known as Alejandro. Lisboa designed both the structure of the church and the curved decoration on the interior, which were only finished towards the end of the 19th century. The circular bell towers and the oculus closed by a relief were a original feature in religious architecture of the time in Brazil. Next is the modernist. The Palacio in Brasilia, listed as a National Historic Heritage Site. The Palacio de Alvorada is the official residence of the President of Brazil. It is located in the national capital of Brasilia, on a peninsula at the margin of Paranhão Lake. The building was designed by Oscar Niemeyer and built between 1957 and 1958 in the modernist style. It has been residence of every Brazilian president since Juscelino Kubitschek. The building is listed as the National Heritage Site. The Palacio de Alvorada is used as a residence and for official receptions. The President's workplace and center of the executive branch is the Palacio de Alvor, uh, Planat, Planalto. Okay. That's all for our reporting. Thank you for listening.